Cheers and welcome to my very first travel vlog. It's mainly photographs, but there are a few little videos in. That's me at the Game of Thrones. As you can see, Dubrovnik is where we went to, Dubrovnik in Croatia. That was my little granddaughter there. That's me in Cavtat, or Cavtat as some people call it, and that's my daughter. Cavtat or Cavtat is where we stayed. We went with Jet2 holidays and we stayed in the Hotel Croatia. Mixed feelings about that hotel. It's very much a big corporate hotel on a hill. They say it's 5-star, and they let Chewie and Jet2 book rooms in there. Oh, this is funny. This is in Dubrovnik, and this is, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you'll totally get it. And we'd asked for our rooms to be together. Our rooms were very, very far away from each other, and the pool was freezing. They're the only negatives. Other than that, it was a great time. The holiday cost me £4,000 for myself, my daughter, son-in-law and granddaughter. Yet 2 weeks before, the price had gone up to £5,700, so I guess we did get a bargain. This is the boat trip from Cavtat or Cavtat over to Dubrovnik. It was wonderful. We enjoyed it. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, so I got a lot out of it. But other than that, it is a great place to visit. We went when there weren't any cruise ships in, so it wasn't too busy. We went for a week in May. The weather was fabulous, except for one morning, which was a bit stormy. The Hotel Croatia has a buffet dining room and also several other restaurants. We did try a couple of them. The best one was called Spinica, and that's down on what they call the beach, but it's not really a beach because it's all concrete, so there's no sand there. But the boat trip did show us around, and I would definitely go to Croatia again. This was my first time in Croatia. I would definitely visit Croatia again. It was fabulous. Very different, big Italian influence, but it very much stands on its own as its own country. Enjoyed it immensely. Cavtat or Cavtat is a very small bay with littered with wonderful high-end restaurants, expensive to a point. There's a few cheaper options. You know, you could go cheaper, but the quality demands the price, so I didn't mind paying because it was lovely. But we did go out a couple of times and just got chicken nuggets or pizza for my granddaughter. Nothing really to do for children there, but we had a great time. It would have been better if the pool hadn't have been absolutely freezing because she loves to swim, and we did get one of those full cover-ups for her. That's one of the very posh yachts that we saw. Lots and lots of posh yachts come into dock into Cavtat or Cavtat from Russia and from Italy. There was lots and lots of different nationalities docking there. That's the view from my room, and this is the view from my daughter's room. So as you can see, I was most put out by that, but the hotel wouldn't do anything about it. They said that they'd not received the request from Jet2. I did make a little bit of a complaint to Jet2 afterwards because in resort, the Jet2 rep didn't do anything to sort it out when they always say get hold of your rep first. They didn't do anything really to sort it out, in all fairness. So when I got home, I did feedback, and they offered me a £70 voucher off my next holiday, which is better than nothing, but it didn't really compensate for the fact that I felt like I was on a solo holiday, because, you know, it would have been a lot better if I'd have been nearer to my daughter and son-in-law and granddaughter. The hotel's huge, and I was right over at the other end of it. So yeah, a couple of negatives there, but other than that, we really did have a good time. Yeah, just a bit disappointed with the hotel. It wasn't a 5-star, and Jet2 definitely didn't sort out the problem when they could have done. The Chewie rep was there every single day by the pool. I didn't see our Jet2 rep once. We had to contact them via WhatsApp, and they didn't really do anything. So yeah, however, positives again, the Jet2 flight was incredible. We left on time, our seats were great, we'd pre-ordered food, that was great. The captain was lovely, he kept us updated with everything, you could hear him clearly. The staff on the Jet2 flight were great. But in resort, obviously we were seasoned travellers, so it was absolutely fine. We got on with things, but it was a bit disappointing because I think I actually did very well paying £4,000 for this holiday. If I'd have paid £5,700, I'd have been deeply distressed. So yeah, not that great, which is a shame, because as a whole, the booking experience with Jet2, and as I say, the flights were great. Cavtat was lovely. Definitely would go again. Possibly wouldn't stay or book with Jet2. Might do it by myself and get, there was lots of apartments there, so I might just book out an apartment and do it that way. But definitely worth a visit if you want to do a little bit of exploring, because there's lots of lovely boat trips. This is the hotel actually, so we're on a buggy here because it's quite far down a big hill. They're on a complimentary buggy and it goes round and round in a circle, so he's always available to take you down into Cavtat and then bring you back up. See, I'm saying Cavtat or Cavtat because I really don't know how you pronounce it. Everyone pronounces it differently. But yes, this was our driver, who was wonderful. Lots of different drivers. They have a little tips jar there, I think you can see it, and they loved it when my granddaughter boarded because she always wanted to give them a coin, which was very nice. You can just see Spinnaker restaurant in the background there, which was beautiful. It was really nice, and that was part of the hotel. But yeah, the hotel, there was no atmosphere at all. Yeah, it was like, you know, when you go to a big corporate hotel that does events, it was like that kind of place. So some of the rooms were set out as though they were going to host a conference. Not really a holiday vibe to me. That this is a holiday vibe, me with the sun setting behind me. This is in the Poseidon restaurant, which was very nice. Food simple and nice, not the most expensive, but the view was wonderful. You could watch the sunset every night. It was a great, I'd love to say a relaxing week, but we had a 2.5-year-old with us. But if you're a couple, or this is my daughter being silly, if you're a couple or even a group of girls that don't really want to do anything other than read your book in the day and go for a nice meal at night, maybe hop on a little boat trip over to Dubrovnik. Just, yeah, really lovely. Would definitely recommend it. Food, couldn't really knock it. We didn't have one meal that I didn't enjoy, but it was expensive. It was, well, I say it was expensive. It was city centre, would you call English city centre prices? So maybe centre of Manchester, centre of London prices. But you were sat outside in a little resort. So, but I think because they had so much to offer, and because all the restaurants were very similar high-end restaurants and they were full every night, then they could charge what they wanted, because you know, these yachts came in and people getting off them had money to burn. You know, they did, and they enjoyed themselves, and why not? But yeah, we had a lovely, wonderful holiday. Croatia, great. I really would love to go back. I'd like to stay in Split, I think, next time I go. This was a holiday that I paid for. My next vlog will be a holiday that I won. So I've won 5 trips this year, and that's what's made me decide to do a little bit of travel vlogging, because in total I'm going to be having 8 holidays this year. Some of them are just little weekends away, one of them's just a night away, but the interesting thing is 5 of them I have won. So I have won a little trip to Scotland, which I'm going on Sunday. I have won a cruise, which I am going on next Friday. I've won a trip to London, which I'm going on next Thursday, which is the night before I join my cruise. When I come back from my cruise 2 weeks later, I go on a Jet2 holiday again, which I've won, and my little family there are coming with me, and we are going to Turkey, which I've never been to before, but we've won the holiday, so I won it on the Jet2 app. So yeah, we'll be doing that. And then in November I'm going to Iceland, and then in December I am going to Tallinn in Estonia. Iceland and Tallinn I have paid for. But yeah, I've won 5 trips. I'm not a big comper, but once I won my cruise it got me going. So I've got some interesting stories to tell on how I won these prizes. So I hope you will stay around and watch and enjoy those as well. So this is a little tryout. As you can tell, I'm not a vlogger, I'm not a YouTuber. This is a practice where I have taken lots of photos and videos, and I thought I'd put them up for a little bit of fun. Hopefully I'll get better and I will be able to show you some of my trips, that I've won. So I'm going to Pitlochry in Scotland on Sunday for 2 nights. I'm taking my friend Becky with us, and see you soon.